In Japanese schools, there was once a strange rumor. It was said that if someone stood between 3 mirrors at exactly midnight and made a wish, they could see their future self reflected in the glass. The wish would come true, but people claimed that their real self in the present would begin to age faster. In today's video, we're diving into a chilling school urban legend, the story of the 3 mirrors. I'm Mr. Yao, and welcome to the Leyenda Yokai channel. Here, I explore famous yokai and urban legends. If you're into these topics, be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos. Humans are full of contradictions. Many adults fear aging and refuse to imagine what they will look like when they grow old. But for teenagers, it's often the opposite. They long for the future, curious to know what kind of person they will become. Maybe successful, maybe shining with confidence. This curiosity makes them eager to catch a glimpse of their future selves. This urban legend takes place at a certain school in Japan. There was an ordinary girl named Megumi. Her grades, athletic ability, and talents were all average, and her plain appearance meant she never drew much attention from others. Perhaps because of that, Megumi longed to become someone everyone would notice. She envied the popular girls at school and realized they all had one thing in common. They were all beautiful. Looking at her ordinary reflection in the mirror, Megumi gradually began to feel inferior. She didn't know when it started, but she often comforted herself by thinking that one day she would become beautiful and rich, and everyone would notice her then. Over time, her curiosity about her future self grew stronger and stronger until her imagination turned into an obsession. She began to desperately want to see what her future self would look like. Since the internet wasn't common at that time, Megumi searched through the library and asked countless people about ways to see the future, but she never found any answers. One day, however, a senior student she had never met approached her. The senior said she understood how Megumi felt because she too had once wanted to see her future and had succeeded. She told Megumi that if she stood in front of the 3 mirrors at the old school building's staircase exactly at midnight and made a wish, the mirrors would reveal her future self. The senior looked unfamiliar, but in a large school, it wasn't strange to see faces she didn't recognize. So instead of doubting her words, Megumi believed her completely. After thanking the senior, she decided to try it that very night. She sneaked into the old school building, which looked especially eerie in the dark. The 3 mirrors hung at the corner of the staircase, and no one knew who had placed them there. When the clock struck midnight, Megumi stood before the mirrors, closed her eyes, and made her wish. When she opened them again, she saw a mature version of herself reflected in the glass. It was her in her 20s. Her childish look was gone, replaced by confidence and grace. She wore makeup, and her smile was calm and beautiful. Megumi was overwhelmed with excitement. She truly believed she was seeing her future self, and it felt like a dream come true. Filled with joy, she went home. The next morning, Megumi got up and began her usual routine. But when she looked in a mirror, she suddenly screamed. The reflection staring back at her was still the future self she had seen the night before. When her father rushed into the room, the mirror instantly returned to normal. Megumi could only laugh it off, saying she must have seen it wrong. But over the next few days, no matter where she went, the mirrors at school, the store windows, even reflections on the surface of water, she kept seeing that same future version of herself. At first, Megumi felt happy. After all, that was exactly the appearance she had always dreamed of. But after a few days, the reflection in the mirror began to change. The woman she saw was no longer in her 20s, but in her 30s, 40s, even 50s. At the same time, Megumi herself started to feel weaker. She would run out of breath after just a few steps, and wrinkles began to appear on her skin. That was when she realized something was terribly wrong. Terrified, Megumi understood it must have been the wish she made in front of the 3 mirrors that night. She returned to the old school building, hoping to take back her wish, but the mirrors stood completely still. Nothing changed. Panic took over her mind, and in desperation, she decided to look for that strange upperclassman again. Trying to find an unknown student at school was nearly impossible. After asking around, Megumi discovered that no one had ever heard of the upperclassman she described. Desperate and hopeless, she broke down and began crying loudly on the staircase. At that moment, a teacher happened to pass by and asked what was wrong. Megumi told the teacher everything that had happened. As she listened, the teacher's face turned pale. The girl Megumi described, the upperclassman looked exactly like a student who was said to have met a tragic fate on campus 30 years ago. Before her death, that girl had gone mad, attacking others with a knife while screaming, "The person in the mirror is lying to me." She had ended her own life right in front of the 3 mirrors. After hearing this, Megumi completely broke down. From the very beginning, she hadn't met a kind upperclassman at all. She had encountered a vengeful spirit. A few weeks later, Megumi's family found her dead at home. The doctor's report revealed that her cause of death was extreme organ failure brought on by rapid aging. Her body had withered like that of an old woman. It said that if someone makes a wish to the 3 mirrors exactly at midnight, they'll see their future self reflected within. The reason is that an evil spirit resides inside the mirrors. Those who wish at midnight can indeed glimpse their future, but the price is their own life force. And the one who first summoned this spirit was the upperclassman who took her life decades ago. After that incident, a new rumor began to spread across the campus. Some claimed that late at night, 2 upper-class girls could be seen wandering near the old school building. They would invite students to make a wish before the 3 mirrors. Strangely, one of those girls looked exactly like Megumi, the very student who had died mysteriously years earlier. If you enjoy my channel, please help by hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you won't miss my upcoming videos. Thank you for watching until the end, and I'll see you next time.